Hey Aquarius, welcome to your reading. I just woke up, literally just like a few minutes ago, because I was guided to take a nap before your reading, and I was gonna do it a couple hours ago, but I had to take a nap for some reason, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So, when I was channeling, when I was channeling for you before I took a nap, I got the song, You've Lost That Loving Feeling. Is that by the Righteous Brothers? Yes. So, okay, that's a starting point, right? And then I, later on, after I got that song, actually wasn't that much later, I was searching for my water, my bottle of water, and in doing so, I said to myself, damn it, how many times am I gonna lose my water today? And then subsequently realized that I had lost my water and opened up a new one 3 times. All right. So I always struggle with whether or not I should explain or clarify or tell, you know, what I think about messages. I don't really like telling people what to do or what to think. I just like to give information. However, I'm getting the distinct feeling also when I was looking at my nails, deciding whether or not I needed to do them before your reading, I noticed that I have 3 broken nails. Oh, okay. So we're gonna stop there with these. I am pulling right now just to get a little bit of extra from my Gypsy Oracle cards. They're this small, cheap little deck that I bought a while back, like last week, so that I could get my vitamins overnighted to me from Amazon. Okay, so you've lost that loving feeling, Aquarius. Also keep in mind that anything I talk about, the energies could be yours or they could be somebody you're connected to, okay? Someone in your environment. If it doesn't resonate for you, that's cool, right? It might be somebody you know, or it might not be your reading at all. It's up to you. All right, so instead of getting offended by anything I say, just remember that. All right, so you've lost that loving feeling. No surprise to me. Aquarius, if you're not aware, your sign is notorious for being the coldest, least emotional of the zodiac, maybe rivaling. Wow, rivaling. Is that even a word? Rivaling. Maybe 1 or 2 other signs, but I choose you, Aquarius, for that role, for that title. You win that one. So that was no surprise to me. I have an Aquarius Venus, so I'm not necessarily knocking you, Aquarius. You know, I'm all about not giving a fuck when it warrants that. So the water, right? In tarot, water represents emotion. I had lost my water, not once, twice, but 3 times, and picked up an identical water and then lost those, okay? Hopefully you see where I'm going with this. I get the distinct feeling that you or someone you know has maybe accumulated a reputation or a history for themselves of repeating the same mistake, right? Getting stuck in a cycle, ruining one relationship, or simply going from one failed relationship with someone who maybe that person ruined it, I don't know, and picking someone just like the last one and over and over and over, okay? This is something people do. distinct feeling. And I'm happy that this was so clear to me. Whether or not it's clear to you, I don't know, but it was very, very clear to me that this was the message. For some of you, maybe that song is the message, I don't know, but for someone, the bigger message is this, okay? Sorry, I need my coffee. So, and people do that. People do that. I see it all the time, right? I've probably done it before. I don't know. And that's what happens when you go from, you know, one relationship to the next without reflecting, without looking back on what has been done, on what you have done, without learning from your mistakes. Like I said, this could be somebody you're dealing with. On top of that, that's my cat in the background being annoying. Yes. So that's what I'm thinking there on that one. On top of that, I also got TNT. That also came up in the Aries reading. So if you're connecting with an Aries, you might want to watch that reading. I don't know. But it did come up. But for this particular instance, for your reading, I did actually get TNT. And once again, honestly, maybe this doesn't make sense to everyone, but it made sense to me. It makes perfect sense. That's sort of a similar song, you know, like, right? What is it? I have the lyrics on my phone. It's like, yeah, public enemy number one. This is what I got. Understand. So lock up your daughter and lock up your wife. Lock up your back door and run for your life. Once again, this could be you or someone you're connecting to, Aquarius. I feel like, I mean, if it's someone you're connecting to, I have, you know, ample empathy for you. No one wants to be involved with, you know, someone who's got women to the left of me, women to the right, whatever, right? 3 bottles of water that I just picked up, drank for a couple seconds, discarded, went and picked up another one, drank for a minute, discarded. It wasn't my fault. I wasn't trying to lose the waters. I just kept losing them. Something to do with the retrograde, I'm sure. But when that happened, I forgot to mention that part. When that happened, the 3rd time, and I was like, Jesus, why do I keep losing all my waters? I heard the song again. I heard You've Lost That Loving Feeling, and that's, you know, thank you. That is what triggered me to realize that it was for you, and it was all about you. And like I said, or something you're dealing with. So you could be dealing with a serial, you know, womanizer, gigolo. I don't know what the terms are. I don't deal with these types of people very often if I can avoid it. But, you know, certainly I've heard stories. And, you know, there could be some heartbreak going on there. So, or this could be you. Okay? And it doesn't have to mean that you are promiscuous or that you are inherently bad or irresponsible. It doesn't have to mean that, so you don't need to get your feathers ruffled. But what it is saying is that someone here needs to take more time to reflect upon their failed relationships. And that is basically what this Mercury retrograde that we are now in the thick of, and, you know, it's just getting thicker here. This Mercury retrograde in Libra is exactly that. It's a time for us to look back on failed relationships or current relationships and see what's going well or what didn't go well, and learn how to correct those mistakes. And that's, you know, part of this is shadow work as well. It's looking at yourself. What did I do? How did I fuck up? How can I do something differently in the future? Etc., etc. This is all just basic stuff. This is all just learning. It's what we all should be doing, what we're all supposed to do in life, right? So, like I said, that could be you or that could be somebody you're dealing with. I feel like it's you, or why would I have such a long message? But of course, it could be a cross watcher. if you're dealing with an Aquarius. Certainly, this could be for you, for insight about the Aquarius, right? So finally, I was guided to take a nap before your reading instead of starting your reading, so I did, and I didn't really dream much, but I did get kind of out of the darkness. I all of a sudden found myself, once again, water at the bottom of the ocean, very, very dark, but out of the darkness, I saw a sea urchin. And then I saw a hand reaching out and grabbing the sea urchin. Now, I didn't know for sure, so I looked it up. I was pretty sure that sea urchins were poisonous, and touching one, getting stung by one, can cause paralysis, respiratory failure, tissue necrosis, which is when your skin cells don't get enough blood or oxygen, basically, and they die. I mean, in theory, you know, they're venomous and they can kill you. So for some of you, I feel like the message here is that you could be surrounded by love, right? And deep love too. I feel that distinct feeling that a lot of you have someone around you or someone out there who is deeply in love with you, and for some reason, instead of seeing them, you reach out for the sea urchin, right? So there's a dynamic here of toxicity or being attracted to toxicity. Take it how it resonates for you. As well, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, you could, I mean, straight up, Aquarius, you could be the toxic one, right? You could be the spiny one. You could be the one wearing spikes on your skin. I don't know. But, I mean, if anybody's going to tell it to you straight, it's going to be me. So you're welcome. Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop right now. We're going to talk about, I think that's all I have for you in channeled messages. Record time under 13 minutes. Okay. So I pulled out these Gypsy Oracles for you. We'll run through those really fast. I got Money in Reverse, Reunion upright, Friend sideways, and Wife in reverse. Okay. Did I not say lock up your daughter and lock up your wife? Okay. I feel like, well, first of all, money's in reverse, Aquarius, so there could be some money issues that have had a, you know, maybe you're just point blank period having issues with money, or money issues played a role in some sort of past situation. Okay. You would know. And then there's this reunion here, which seems nice, but it's sandwiched between a lack of money and a sideways friend. So I definitely get the feeling here that you might have a sideways friend, Aquarius, someone in your life who maybe you think they're your friend and maybe they're not. And that I think that's as deep as I'm going to go into it, because I do want to get into a Celtic cross for you eventually. So your relationships, Mercury retrograde is a great time to look back on your relationships. Look back at, you know, whether or not you're a good friend, whether or not your friends are good friends, who's there for you, who's loyal. I mean, this is a ripe time for that. This is the perfect time to reflect back upon these things. And I mean, to decide, you know, how authentic do you want to be in your life? How willing are you to face your shadow, to face your mistakes, to face your flaws? And I mean, do you really want to get real and look at how your toxicity contributes to the pitfalls in your life? Or do you want to blame other people? I don't know. But I do feel like given what I'm seeing, you know, maybe you do have somebody who might need to, sorry, my phone, not important. Somebody might need to shoulder the blame, right? There might be somebody else who is to blame here, not just you, or maybe it's solely this other person. So I am getting that feeling here with friend sideways. And then we have wife in reverse. I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm just laughing because of TNT. Okay? So I'm so sorry. God, that's so insensitive. But I feel like at the same time, Aquarius, you're one of the signs who would possibly understand. Some of you wouldn't. Some of you would not. Some of you are pissed off and have already left. But the synchronicity is amazing. So worst case scenario, I'm not laughing. Literally, some of you might have missed an opportunity to unite with your spouse, your future spouse, or reunite with your spouse. Take it how it resonates. Because of some interference here, because I have reunion, wife in reverse, and friend in the middle. Okay, so for some of you, there might have been a friend here who interfered in a connection for you, and now we have wife in reverse. So this feels like some sort of missed opportunity. I mean, I don't know, and somehow money is in the mix here, which is interesting. That piques my curiosity. If you know what that is, let me know, because I'm interested to know how money factors in. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you were dependent upon somebody, asked them for a favor. I don't know. They fucked you over. Take it how it resonates. So I think I'm just going to leave that there and move into your tarot. I don't think that there's much else that I'm picking up on that. But distinctly for some of you, yes, a friend interfered with a connection and now you are out. A spouse. Okay, I just split it. Gift. What's at the bottom of the deck? Surprise. Okay, well, some of you might be getting a surprise gift. Or maybe that is a message, an answer to a question. I don't know. Okay, so what's coming in the near future for Aquarius? Ooh, nice. Okay, how is Aquarius being viewed by the outside world at this time? How is Aquarius being viewed? Knight of Wands. It's kind of TNT. Okay, and what's the outside energy? I don't know if I like how that fell. Let me see the outside energy again, please. There we go. Okay, close. All right. The advice for Aquarius at this time. Can you clarify that for me? Oof, God, Aquarius. Okay, what is the most likely outcome here? King of Swords, that's you, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. This isn't all that bad. So part of this is what I said. Seven of Pentacles in the heart of the matter, crossed by the Three of Swords, okay? This is looking back, reflecting upon some sort of breakup, some sort of heartache, some sort of tragedy, some sort of pain, okay? This is learning from it. This is trying to learn from it. The Seven of Pentacles involves assessing the situation, evaluating what it is that you put in, what contributions did you make to yield the result that you have here, right? What were the contributions of the other person, if there was another person, all right? You have to look at it honestly and realistically if you want to be able to move forward, because you have to know whether or not you need to change something. So like if we're talking about farming and you're using a fertilizer that, or you know, like a pesticide, like I have some I just used actually to kill some grass. Normally the weed killer stuff that you use only kills weeds. Somehow I don't know how they target it, but this one kills grass as well. I wanted to kill the grass because it doesn't need to grow where it was growing. So are you using a pesticide of some sort, a weed killer of some sort that kills what you're trying to grow? Or are you using the right type of treatment? That's just an example. So these are the types of things, metaphors for them, that you need to be asking yourself, and this is the perfect time to do that. Okay? The Three of Swords is actually a Libra card. I don't know what, it doesn't matter. And we're in Libra right now. Mercury's in Libra. I can't talk. Let's blame it on Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in Libra right now, and Mercury is in retrograde. So to me, this is screaming about that right here. Seven of Pentacles, Three of Swords. We are reflecting back. We're looking, I mean, he always looks disappointed to me, no matter what rider weight I encounter. This guy always looks disappointed, despite the fact that he's looking at what looks to me like 7 ripe pentacles ready, you know, ready to be taken off. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know why he's so disappointed. But once again, it's a metaphor. You're supposed to be looking back, reflecting upon the past, analyzing the heartbreak. And you know, also, Aquarius, part of doing that is being honest with yourself about the pain. Part of doing that is feeling the pain, identifying the pain, and acknowledging that it's there. Okay? You can't just sweep it under the rug. You can't just ignore it. Pain is a teacher. And if you don't feel it, if you block it out and repress it, then you don't actually learn from it. Luckily, I don't think that's the case here to whoever I'm talking to. All right? So in the foundation, we have an Ace of Pentacles. Here you go. We've moved from analyzing, we've chosen a pentacle, okay? And with the Knight of Wands here, I do have to say that a lot of you, I feel, are that TNT, because this is screaming TNT to me. The Knight of Wands, this is your energy, how you're being perceived. Okay, whether you like it or not, this is how you're being perceived. This is somebody wishy-washy, frenetic, back and forth, very indecisive. This is the gigolo of the tarot, all right? And this is how you're coming out. So you should know that other people are viewing you that way according to my cards. So you have an opportunity, all right? So I have to warn you, with this opportunity, you might be coming off as someone very flaky, very flighty, unreliable, and you don't want to do that when you get an Ace of Pentacles, because an Ace of Pentacles requires nurturing and care. It requires the right soil. It requires the right water. You have to take care of it like it's a baby, Aquarius, okay? So it's fragile. It won't grow unless you care for it, okay? You have to put it in the garden and care for the garden. So this may be love, this may be something else, I don't know. We might not be talking about love at all for you, all right? And that's fine. Try to translate it. I am going to run off of love because that's what I'm feeling, all right? We have the Empress in the past. So Okay, Seven of Pentacles, Three of Swords. So if you had an Empress in the past, or if you were the Empress in the past, all right, that to me implies that that's not our current energy. So we're operating in some sort of different energy in the present. In the past, though, was the Empress. There isn't much better than the Empress. So how do I put this? So anything moving forward from that, I feel like is almost inevitably a downgrade, if that makes sense. All right. So in the past, we had something good. All right. I mean, and I do see possibly mourning some sort of commitment. So for some of you, I apologize for laughing. You might have actually gone through a divorce and lost the best thing in your life, or lost your status as a wife, as a mother, as someone with an abundant, good life. All right. Where'd my coffee go? So I do apologize for that. And if that's the case, I would grab onto this new opportunity, because sitting here dwelling upon this for too long after we've learned the lesson, which I do think is coming, don't throw a pity party for too long. All right. Let's move on from that. Something very, very good in the past. And if this is what you're mourning the loss of, I understand. But you also have to, once again, be honest about what went wrong, and learn from that so that you can go forward and do better. There's always better. Like whatever's meant for you, right, isn't going to pass you by. So if this was meant for you, then it's still going to be there for you. It's still going to be recoverable, or it's not meant for you and there's something else that is, okay? And it's going to be better, because it's going to be better for you. Okay. I don't want to get emotional in your reading. So current energy is the moon. All right. So this is, it could be a lot of things, but it could be that dark at the bottom of the ocean sort of feeling that I got when I fell asleep briefly. All right. You could be at the bottom of the ocean. You could be, having a lot of anxiety, depression, even uncertainty, any number of questions and things going on at this time, just because you feel in the dark, or you feel confused, you don't know where your path is going. It's basically the challenge of the moon is to follow the path that your heart is called to go down, regardless of the fact that it's dark and that you can't see. It's about having faith enough to walk in the dark into the unknown, knowing in your heart, trusting your intuition, that you're being led by your subconscious toward where you're supposed to go. Okay? So while I understand that this is most likely heavy energy for you, try to grab onto that sense of trust and knowing in whatever spiritual light that you follow. Okay? Even if it's just your own self, your own intuition. Because in the future, we have the Hermit. We have the Hermit holding the light. It's the light of wisdom, Aquarius. This is the light that tells me that you are going to learn from your mistake by working through the fear. Okay? And this is, I think that's why I said shadow work in the center. It is about being really honest and facing your fear of feeling, of admitting weakness, of failure, of whatever the case may be, of anxiety. It's working through all of that to understand it, you know, picking it apart. 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, just enough to where you get it, to where you can learn from it, to where you can see what maybe you didn't see in the dark. All right, and we're at a Pisces full moon right now, so that could very well be illuminating some reality and truth in your direction. Like I said, the Hermit. This is a guy who's been through the dark night of the soul. He's gotten through the moon period, and he has learned a lesson. He has gained wisdom. He is better for it. And I mean, he shows that as well. He shines a light to the rest of the world. So normally I don't want to say that or think that in a reading. So maybe you do need to, King of Swords is your outcome. Maybe you do need to share the lesson that you've learned with the world, or maybe you need to teach, or maybe, you know, something, because the King of Swords is often an expert in his field. So maybe this experience will make you an expert on some sort of pain, on some sort of experience that brought you pain. Maybe you will then become the advisor of someone else. Just a side note that I'm just feeling right now for someone. I'm jumping ahead. So, I mean, the Hermit's a great future card, all right? You need to work through this, though. You need to work through this. And I know it's scary. But once again, try to come at it from this analytical point, from a perspective of cause and effect. Okay? Okay. Yeah. So Knight of Wands is how you're being perceived at this time. Knight of Wands is, you know, back and forth. He's, once again, indecisive. He jumps from one bottle of water to the next, right? He has attention deficit disorder. He is not steady or reliable. He just follows his little wand wherever it leads him. And it's not a good way to be perceived, all right? So whatever's going on with you, try to stay grounded. Ace of Pentacles. Try to find an opportunity, whether big or small, that does ground you, that does center you, so that you're not going back and forth in every which direction. Try to stick to the path, like the moon, straight down the path. Keep yourself insulated from what lurks on either side of you in the dark, instead of darting back and forth into, you know, every little cavern of sea urchins that you see. All right. So the outside energy. The outside energy is the Ten of Swords. So this is either somebody who majorly betrayed you, all right, who, you know, a situation that is just dead, done, and over. And I don't even want to go on a limb to guess what that entails, all right? Or vice versa, somebody that you majorly betrayed to the point that there is no coming back from it, right? 10 of Swords. There are 10 swords in this guy's back. But the thing of it is, all right, either way you slice it, whoever it is that was wounded here gets a blessing. That hand signature that he's making right there. It calls in a blessing. Ten of Swords can be a card of a near-death experience, and in a near-death experience, of which I've had multiple, you do get a blessing. It is an encounter with God, so to speak, an encounter with the other side. When you get that close to death, you can taste it, right? And part of it rubs off on you. And that is how I see the Ten of Swords right now in this moment, especially. So whether this is you or that other person, Aquarius, know that there's a blessing in the experience. One of the blessings is that you never have to see or talk to that person ever again after they've done something like this to you. All right? So this card tells me that there is something very, very bad going on here. Somebody did the other person very, very dirty. And when you are the victim of something like this, certainly it can put you into an energy of something like this, because this is a, you know, an unchanneled, uncentered, undirected energy. This can, you know, when I combine these two cards, it can feel like a PTSD sort of energy, which absolutely that could go along with the Moon card. And you know, the Hermit once again implies a dark night of the soul. So some of you could definitely be experiencing that, and I'm sorry if I'm downplaying that in this reading. But I will emphasize again the blessing that comes after the Ten of Swords. What comes of that is an Ace of Swords, a new opportunity to move forward in truth. Because in reality, you have survived this situation, and there's karma for somebody that puts you in this situation, mark my words, okay? You get to live in truth, in the enlightenment of knowing what a piece of shit they were, okay? That's your victory, is that you survived a piece of shit. And Spirit is going to bless you for that. I promise you. Okay? Your advice. Now, for some of you, the advice is the Five of Cups, okay? Part of this is to feel the pain. Do the mourning, right? Let yourself feel it. And then you let it go. And you turn around, you pick up what you have left, and you follow the path across the bridge to the castle. That's what I'm talking about. There's your blessing, okay? The blessing is that you have a castle waiting for you. You just have to remember what you have left, what you are made of, and make it across the bridge, right? For some of you, I feel very strongly that this Two of Cups behind you is another person, all right? I feel like this is another person. Like I said, at the bottom of the ocean, you're surrounded by a deep love, somebody who really wants to like commit to you and love you and really be solid for you, but you can't see it because you're so focused on this sea urchin, this poisonous, toxic person, okay? So that is the advice for many of you. For the rest of you, this is just mourning, taking, you know, feeling it, going through it. You have to go through it. I feel like I need to stress that to you specifically, Aquarius, because a lot of you do a bunch of bypassing and you don't go through it. You don't feel it. You don't learn from it. And that's how you repeat a cycle over and over and over again, okay? It is. So you need to feel the pain, as hard as it is. And then you need to heal from it. You need to remember who the fuck you are. Turn around, pick up your shit, and go. Go to your own castle. Become the King of Pentacles. Become so solid, so stable, so fierce that no one's gonna fuck with you. No one's fucking with the King of Pentacles. Look at him. He's surrounded. I don't even know what the hell's on this card. I've never really paid attention, but he's just surrounded by, you know, the symbolism of making it. So that's the advice for the rest of you, is to become the King of Pentacles. Become everything that someone who is a Queen of Pentacles, you know, and flip the roles. Gender doesn't matter. Become the person that you want to attract, not the sea urchin. Okay? And for some of you, this is just about turning around and realizing that this person is already there in your environment, already waiting for you to step up and start becoming more solid, to step out of this, you know, frenetic, crazy energy. All right? And clearly, I mean, clearly don't rely on just tarot and, you know, other people's advice and words to get you through something like this. Utilize other services, all right? If this is like a real serious issue, and that means something that is so painful that you're having difficulty thinking about it, facing it, getting out of bed in the morning, something like this, okay? I definitely feel that for someone. Then you need something else besides yourself and whatever is, you know, talking at you on your phone. You need something else. Whether that's an online support group, you know, they have 1-800 lines or whatever, crisis lines. I've called one before, a long time ago, but, you know, sometimes that's the first step. All right, your final outcome is, I mean, the King of Swords, which is an Aquarius card. This is your energy. So this whole experience is leading you into your own true power, into your own wisdom, into your own intellect. And like I said, it might be putting you in a position where you can become eventually, you know, the voice for someone else. You could become the defense, I was going to say defense attorney. This can be a defense attorney. It can be. Maybe some of you are becoming a defense attorney if there was some sort of crime committed against you. But a defender of others. This is somebody who stands up for others, someone who uses their voice to speak, right? With truth. He wields the sword of truth. So that's what I'm feeling the most strongly. But I mean, the King of Swords is also just, you know, he represents intellect. He represents knowing, someone who stands for truth and justice. And as hard as it is, sometimes that's exactly what propels us to be in our ultimate power, is some motherfucker putting us in the pit, right? For sure. You gotta crawl out of the pit, Aquarius, all right? Let's get you an oracle, because I feel like you need one. Well, let's get you a map. Let's get you a map, because I feel like you're in that moon shadow area where you don't have direction, right? Knight of Wands. The guy needs a map. So let's get, for Aquarius, an enchanted map oracle. For Aquarius, please. Thank you. Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen this one, Aquarius. I don't think I have. It's making a choice. Okay. It's no problem for the King of Swords, but what does it say? Okay. This might be something I didn't hit on. So you're required to come to a decision now. You're faced with a dilemma or a fork in the road. Okay, that could be the Moon card, right? And must make a conscious choice regarding the next right action. Whatever the choice is, you must take responsibility for it, yet you needn't be afraid. You may not have all the answers right now, because the way ahead can't be known until you've embarked and traveled a few steps. It's the Moon card. Trust your intuition. What did I say? Ask for a sign from Spirit and you will be led to the right path. If you remain conscious and aware, your choice will be the right one at this time. Life is always about learning. Success lies in choosing consciously, guided by intuition and spirit. Told you. Encouragement at the bottom of the deck, number 54. I'm going to read that one for you too. I believe this is about being guided by spirit as well. Oh my God. Okay, encouragement, number 54. You are receiving a nudge in the right direction. This card tells you that you're being gently encouraged to step into your power. What did I say? Into the dream of your life. New things are out there to be explored, and the nurturing power of the universe is giving you a nudge in the right direction. You will get the help you need and won't be alone in your quest. Every step you take right now is supported by the wisdom of the universe. I mean, you have the Hermit, the Moon, you have the Empress in the past, the King of Swords in the future. I definitely think we're dealing with some wisdom here, Aquarius. You are on the right path. Keep going. Exactly. That is what the Moon card says. Keep going. No matter how much you fear, no matter how much is unknown, keep going. Because you know where you're supposed to go. Okay? And yes, ask for help, even if it's, silently to yourself from the universe. Ask for help. Thanks for being here, Aquarius. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next time.